Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive into another captivating world?
Always.
Well, get ready because today we're exploring a world of dragons, fierce competition, and a heroine who defies all expectations. It's the book Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros.
Ah, yes. Fourth Wing. It's taken the world by storm, hasn't it? 5 million copies sold, top of the New York Times bestseller list, even trending on TikTok with over 1.4 billion views.
Absolutely. So we'll explore what makes this story so captivating, but no spoilers, of course. Let's start with the setting.
Sounds good.
Picture a kingdom, constantly at war. That's Navarre, steeped in complex politics and rich mythology. And at the heart of it all is Bastiath War College.
Oh, Bastiath. Not your average academy.
Not at all. It's a brutal training ground for aspiring dragon riders. The stakes, life or death. Cadets either graduate as elite warriors or, well, they don't graduate.
Intense. And the trials are designed to weed out the weak.
Exactly. Danger lurks everywhere, not just from the dragons themselves, but from the fierce competition among the cadets. And into this unforgiving world walks our protagonist, a young woman who never imagined herself as a warrior.
Quite the fish out of water story. What makes her so compelling, though, is her resilience.
Right. She's not your typical warrior. She dreams of a scholarly life as a scribe. But circumstances force her into the world of dragon riders.
And to make matters even more challenging, she's not physically imposing. She lives with a chronic illness, something similar to Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Yeah, it makes her incredibly vulnerable. Her joints are fragile, she's prone to injuries. But here's the thing. She's got this sharp intellect, unwavering courage, and she can think on her feet.
Quick thinking is essential in that environment. It's fascinating how the author herself lives with a chronic illness.
That's right. It adds a layer of depth and authenticity to the protagonist's struggles.
Definitely resonates with readers. Strength comes in many forms.
Speaking of strong characters, let's talk about the love interest. He's everything our protagonist is not. A brooding, skilled, and mysterious dragon rider. And to complicate matters, their families are on opposing sides of a rebellion. Forbidden romance alert.
Oh, there's definitely tension there. Mistrust, sizzling chemistry. The author knows how to keep you hooked.
Now, we can't forget the stars of this show. The dragons. They're not just beasts in this world. They're intelligent, magical creatures, capable of forming profound bonds with their riders.
It's not just about dominance. It's a partnership built on trust and respect. A deep understanding.
And there are some fascinating dragons we meet along the way. We've got Terran, the formidable black dragon. He's known for his intelligence and insight.
A bit of a mentor figure, you could say.
Then there's Andarna, the golden dragon. Still too young to carry a rider, but full of energy. And then there's Scale.
Ah, Scale. The rebellious one.
Definitely. A blue dragon who defies tradition. Deadly speed, independent spirit. She adds a whole layer of unpredictability.
And, to make things even more interesting, our protagonist is chosen by not one, but TWO dragons.
I know, right? It's unheard of. It sets her apart from all the other cadets.
Makes you wonder about the nature of these bonds. What does this dual connection mean for her?
So the initial conflict is all about the cadets competing to bond with the dragon. But then a much greater threat emerges, throws the whole kingdom into chaos.
The Venin, a group of rogue magic users, controlling these monstrous creatures called Gwyverns. They were thought to be just legend.
And their arrival forces everyone to reevaluate their priorities. It's not just about personal ambition anymore. It's about survival.
Exactly. And then, just when you think it can't get more complicated,
Bam! Another twist. The protagonist's brother, who everyone believed was dead, turns out to be alive. And he's fighting with the rebellion against the kingdom.
talk about family drama. Changes everything for her.
It does. Questions of loyalty, duty, it really sets the stage for an epic saga.
Absolutely. Lots left unresolved. And that's what keeps you hooked.
Right. So much to unpack. And we'll dive even deeper after the break.
One of the things that really make this world come to life, I mean, Navarre, it's not just a backdrop, is it? It's a character. Centuries of war, deep traditions.
Yeah, you really feel that, especially at Bastiath War College. I mean, it's not just about fighting. It's about, molding these cadets into the ultimate warriors, completely loyal to the crown.
The college reflects the kingdom's values, right? Strict hierarchy, constant pressure, always that threat of death. It forges these young people into something extraordinary, but at a high cost.
And that environment, that pressure cooker, it really highlights how different our protagonist is from the other cadets.
Right. They come from these long lines of dragon riders, practically born for this. But she's there, well, because her mother, the commander general, basically ordered her to go.
Yeah, adds another layer of tension there. She's not just fighting to survive the trials. She's battling to prove herself to her family, her peers.
To everyone, it seems.
Exactly. And especially when you consider her physical limitations. The book doesn't shy away from, depicting the reality of her illness. She's in constant pain, prone to injuries, pushing herself beyond her limits.
But that's what makes her so inspiring, right? She doesn't let it define her. She adapts, uses her intelligence, her strategic thinking to overcome those challenges. It's a powerful message about resilience.
It is. And let's be honest, she wouldn't get very far without her allies. She makes some true friends amidst all that competition.
Like Dane Ados. He's a skilled dragon rider, but also incredibly loyal, protective of her, sees her potential when she doubts herself.
Their bond is a nice counterpoint to, well, the more intense relationship she has with Xaden.
Oh, definitely. Electric, but dangerous. The weight of their family's histories, secrets, it adds this constant tension. Their chemistry is undeniable.
Speaking of chemistry, we got to talk about the dragons. I mean, come on, who doesn't love a good dragon story? And these are so well developed, not just mythical beasts. They're so intricately woven into the world.
Right. Partners, weapons of war, sources of magic. The dragons are what make this world so captivating. Rebecca Yarros describes them so vividly. You can almost see them, soaring through the sky. You sense their intelligence, their personalities, that depth of their bond with the riders.
And each one is so distinct. Like we said, there's Tarn, the powerful black dragon, wise, insightful, almost a mentor. And then you have Andarna, the little golden one, full of energy, playful.
And of course, Scariel, can't forget her. Fierce, breaks all the rules, unpredictable, dangerous, but fiercely loyal to her chosen rider.
And the fact that our protagonist, she bonds with two of these incredible creatures, it's mind-blowing. Speaks to her strength, her ability to connect with them.
A dual bond, yeah. Sets her apart, puts her on a very specific path. So many questions about what it all means.
Right. And then, just as she's starting to figure things out, the Venin appear, throw the entire kingdom into chaos. What's so chilling about them is that, well, they're not just mindless monsters.
They're humans. They've chosen to wield magic, but in a very dark, dangerous way.
Yeah. Represents a corruption of power, doesn't it? A perversion of that bond. Terrifying to think what could happen if that balance is disrupted.
Their arrival, it makes you question the motives of those in power. The secrets at the heart of Navarre.
And just when she's dealing with all of that, she discovers her brother, the one she thought was dead. He's alive, fighting with the rebellion. It changes everything.
It makes her question everything.
Uh-huh.
About her family, her country, the war itself. Such a personal layer to the conflict really forces her to confront some hard truths.
So we have her trying to survive this brutal program, bond with two dragons, fight this terrifying new enemy, and now deal with the fact that her brother is fighting against everything she's been taught to believe in.
A lot to handle, sets the stage for a pretty epic journey. Heartbreak, redemption, who knows. What I find so compelling, though, is the complexity. There are no easy answers here. No clear heroes or villains.
Absolutely. Everyone is driven by their beliefs, their desires, their pain.
And it's all against the backdrop of this incredibly detailed world. Navarre feels real. The history, the culture, the intrigue.
You're not just reading about it, you're living it.
The world building is phenomenal. It's about the people, the structures, the beliefs and traditions. It's that attention to detail that makes it so believable.
It's funny, even with all the dragons and magic, this book feels so relatable. It's about challenging expectations, finding your own path, something we all grapple with.
Right. Violet's journey, it's not just about learning to ride a dragon. It's about proving she belongs in a world that keeps telling her she doesn't. And she proves it not just to everyone else, but to herself. That's powerful.
And it's not easy either. She faces constant setbacks, the competition, her illness, but she perseveres, finds ways to adapt, uses her strengths to overcome those challenges.
And she finds allies, mentors who believe in her, shows how important it is to have people in your corner, pushing you to be your best. Even in this world of dragons and magic, human connection, that's at the heart of it.
Absolutely. We need those people who believe in us, who challenge us, who celebrate our successes. Another thing that struck me is how the book challenges traditional gender roles. In a warrior society, you'd expect it to be, well, very masculine, but there were some interesting subversions.
Definitely. Like, you have Violet, who's not your typical warrior, Yet she ends up bonded to these powerful dragons, outshining those who underestimated her. And then her mother, the commander general, she commands respect. She holds real power in this militaristic society.
It's refreshing to see women in those positions. Breaking those traditional molds adds complexity to the world.
And speaking of inclusivity, the way the book portrays disability, Violet's illness, it's not just a plot device. It shapes who she is, her experiences, her relationships.
And it's handled with such sensitivity. The author doesn't shy away from the challenges, the limitations, but she also shows Violet's resilience, her refusal to be defined by her condition.
It's a message we all need to hear, right? Strength comes in many forms. Embracing our differences is what makes us unique.
Exactly. Everyone has something to offer. I think one of the main takeaways here is finding your strength, embracing your individuality, and fighting for what you believe in, even when it feels impossible.
Absolutely. In a world where we're constantly told who to be, how to look, what to achieve, this book encourages us to reject those narrow definitions.
And to find our tribe, those people who support us. Violet wouldn't have survived without those friendships, those bonds.
Right, those connections are vital. Highlight the power of, well, leaning on each other when things get tough. Who wouldn't want a loyal dragon by their side?
Now that's a thought. But even without a fire-breathing companion, we all have our own dragons to slay, our own mountains to climb.
Our own stories to write.
And that's a perfect note to end on. So keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep fighting for what you believe in. And if you're looking for a little inspiration, I highly recommend Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros.
It's a wild ride, full of twists and turns, but ultimately it's a story about hope, resilience, and the power of the human spirit.
And hey, if you want to experience this world for yourself, we've got a special offer. You can get the audiobook version of Fourth Wing absolutely free. Just check the link in the comments. Audiobooks, by the way, they're great for busy lives, perfect for multitasking, and they make fantastic gifts, especially for the fantasy lovers out there. So, as always, thank you for joining us on the deep dive. We appreciate your support. Don't forget to subscribe and share so we can keep bringing you more deep dives into these captivating worlds. Until next time.